Okay, I'm gonna make a real quick video now. See this? 7-Eleven mug. This, not this. This 13-round magazine. This knife that is longer than 4 inches and opens with a single hand. Yeah, should open with a single hand. Okay. And this knife, which also opens with a single hand. When it feels like it. Yeah. Shit, I'm gonna fucking stab myself these fucking days. Okay. What does this mean? Well, in my home county of Westchester, this means I am a citizen. Okay? In New York City, this means I am a criminal. I am a criminal. The Emperor is asking the city council to outlaw any sugar drink in a container larger than 12 ounces. That means you could probably, we don't know yet, have a giant fucking container in your house and fill it up with a sugary drink, soda, coffee, tea, something like that, Gatorade. You can go to McDonald's and get a 36-ounce cup of milk. But you cannot have any beverage with sugar in it in a container over 12 ounces. That's if this legislation passes. Let's make sure the camera's on. Okay. Yeah, every once in a fucking this blue moon that happens. I actually talk in front of the fucking camera and it's not on. Now, his first term, the Emperor outlawed smoking in public. Now, I had to take a class when I was going for my degree at the university. I had to take a class on substance abuse, abusing caffeine, abusing nicotine, abusing crack, okay? Every drug you can think of, legal and illegal, etc., period. When you smoke, you pull 90% of the carbon monoxide into your lungs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I usually smoke 1 to 2 cigars a year. I'm not gonna lie and say that it's healthy. I'm just gonna fess up and say that I've done it. Okay, now, I personally do think it's stupid for you to be spraying smoke around public areas when there are women and children around, when women are pregnant, etc., So I am all for having special, to use a liberal term, segregated areas for smoking. Go into a room, smokers only, no one but smokers allowed, go in there and smoke. No children, no pregnant women, no one with asthma. I'm all for that. But there should be a designated zone to smoke. New York City, there's not. You can't. They crack down on smoking in bars and restaurants and everywhere you can go. I'm all for a clean, healthy, fresh environment, but I do understand for the smoking public, they should have a space available to them. Okay? Keeping in mind he supported the occupiers who did drugs in public, shit on the public street, masturbated in front of women, and beat the shit out of police officers. So, yeah. Well, his second term, he outlawed salt. You can have it in your home, I think, but if you go to a restaurant and you want salt, you have to specify, give me salt. Give me salt or give me death. Now, there's also proposed legislation to ban the comfort of your own home. I think that is bullshit, okay? You can go to a lot of places, even Disney World. Disney World theme parks have special designated areas that are no bigger than my bedroom, You go into a bushy area, trees, bushes, and a sign that says smoking. You go in there, everybody's smoking their fucking brains out. No children, no pregnant women, no one with any illnesses is allowed in there. Totally segregated just for that. Okay? Because when you smoke, if you can't smoke, you go through withdrawal symptoms. Because cigarettes are more addictive than heroin. And yes, I heard that from a heroin addict. So, I feel bad for you if you're going to be walking around New York City and you can't get a place to smoke. And now the emperor wants to outlaw sugary drinks and containers larger than 12 ounces. Now, Janine Pirro, who was a district attorney in my home county of Westchester, and herself has her issues in the closet. She has her skeletons in the closet, I should say. She said on Bill O'Reilly last night, you could just get 2 12-ounce cups and double the amount of garbage. Now, toy guns. When I was a kid, toy guns looked like this. Do our safety check. Toy guns looked like this. I remember when there was no orange thing here. There is a federal law. If you have a toy gun, you must have an orange thing on the front. New York City has taken it to the extreme. The gun must be painted fluorescent colors, and if not, you pay a fine. Like a very, very high fine, like a $5,000 fine or some shit. Now, the emperor has also outlawed Duracoat. Remember Duracoat? Yeah. This is the emperor's collection, the Bloomberg collection. Bronx Rose, Brooklyn Blue, Manhattan Red, come the fuck up there, Queens Green, Staten Island Orange. Okay? That is in honor of the emperor banning Duracoat from their city. Okay? I just wanted to throw it in as a fucking joke, but that's true. Okay, so now the emperor is trying to ban drinks because people are fat, they're overweight, and healthy. Now, remember our discussion about smoking in the empire? In 2011, January to May, I had to take a class down in Manhattan. My university rented 2 floors of an office building around the corner from Macy's on 5th Avenue. And I had to go there, get up 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday, take the train into Manhattan, Grand Central, walk all the way down to where Macy's was and take my class there. Thank you, clock. Now, you ever see the episode of Seinfeld? Smoke. I don't know if that's from exhaust fumes, the sewer, but I would see fucking manhole covers. I don't know what it is. Smoke, fog, smog. But I would see gray stuff, smoky stuff, flying through the air. Now, is that healthy? No. So at one point you're banning cigarettes being smoked in public. Good idea. But the smoke from this, the smoke from that, the car fumes from this, the gas fumes from that, that fucking shit'll kill you long before a cigarette will. So now the emperor wants to ban soft drinks larger than 12 ounces. Now, 1967, long gun registration. 1991, gun confiscation. They just recently took rifle magazine capacity to 5 rounds. You cannot have a 6-round rifle magazine for a rifle in New York City. Now, knives. Banning knives with a blade longer than 3 inches. This is 4. Banning single open knives. Now, single hand open knives. Now, excessive gun control. 200 shootings a month. Excessive knife control. They stopped counting stabbings. How is this going to turn out? They are going to experience a gilded age of obesity, diabetes, hyperactivity, and just plain fat fucks. Okay? Can you imagine Pete from the Army Channel coming to New York City and the Emperor telling him, in addition to him not having a gun or a knife with a blade longer than 3 inches, he can't have a soda higher than 12 ounces? Somebody's gonna fucking die that day. Anyway, yeah. Now, New York City, don't forget, that police commissioner in 1966 and 67 saying the Second Amendment does not apply to New York City in the 20th century. The Emperor was younger than me when he said that, when that guy said that. Okay? The Emperor took over in 2002. Gun confiscation was 1991. The Emperor is only a symptom of a larger disease in New York City. Now, when I was going my very first college degree years ago, I was 19 years old. And I saw an artist's conception drawing. And you know how a professor shows you something in college, and then 3 weeks later he'll bring it back to you again? Well, there was a mob lynching a black man in New York City. And when the professor showed it again weeks later, what is this southern town? New York City. What happened was, people in New York City were afraid that newly freed black men from the South would come up and take their jobs. Now, lynching black people is a liberal philosophy, okay? After the Republican Party ratified the 15th Amendment in 1870, the Democratic Party ordered the Ku Klux Klan to kill all black people and all white Republicans. That's right. It was called the Great Republican Lynching. 2 out of 3 victims were white. 3 out of 3 victims are Republican. Now, New York City, New York State has voted for the Republican candidate in more than half of the presidential elections since 1860. It's only in the past 25 years New York State has adopted liberalism, and New York State is starting to reject it. Okay? We have a governor who is a Democrat. His fiscal responsibility of budget control and deunionization is kind of like Scott Walker and Governor Christie, respectfully. Okay? There was some kind of gun control ballistics program that he cut out of the budget entirely because it was wasting too much fucking taxpayer money. And he didn't think it was worth it anymore. They had some kind of ballistic program that a Republican governor put in for gun control, and when he realized it didn't stop a single fucking crime, he abolished it. This is a Democratic governor that has had his problems with the NRA. Now, New York State used to be the staunchest conservative state in the Union. We were a hotbed for abolitionists and the Underground Railroad, and black men and black women escaping from slavery came to the north, and they came to New York State for safe haven, to be freed from bondage. New York State supported Abraham Lincoln. New York State supported the Union Army. Now, I learned about this when I went to the university. New York City had a mayor during the Civil War who was a Confederate sympathizer. And Abraham Lincoln was deathly afraid he would use New York City seaports to launch supplies down into the Confederacy. So Abraham Lincoln had the mayor of New York City put under house arrest for the entire duration of the war. He had a lot of good fucking ideas, Lincoln. Okay? So the problem is New York City has always been a contrast of the rest of New York State. Even now, New York State merging pro-gun, pro-this, pro-that, conservative, New York City is merging opposite, to the left. More to the left, okay? Yeah. Okay? Now, this is just a fucking another example of what happens in that city. New York State supports the Union. New York City does not. New York State opposes slavery. New York City lynches the black man because they don't want slaves coming into New York City and working as free men. Well, tough fucking shit to you too. God damn So a lot of people looking at this, they got their mouths open. There's jokes on Facebook and shit. There's jokes on Fox News. And I'm like, dudes, it's just another example. New York City is its own communist haven, where there are no guns except for criminals, no knives except for criminals, and now they want to control fatty foods and sugary juices and sodas and fucking coffees and teas and all that fucking bullshit. And they're gonna double the amount of garbage. You can't buy a 13-ounce cup of coffee. Buy 2 12-ounce cups of coffee. That way you throw out twice as much garbage. There's gonna be twice as much pollution in New York. Just like assholes stab people, even though 4-inch knives are illegal, there are gonna be guys getting their sugar on, getting their caffeine on, getting their hyperactivity on. Anyway. Okay, this is, I'm on a fucking rant here. This is a symptom. New York City has always done the exact opposite of New York State, okay? My hometown was thought of as being very liberal for many years, okay? My hometown elected a Republican mayor. He served 2 8-year terms, term limited out. He had his share of controversy. His deputy took over. He served 2 4-year terms. He term limited out. He had his share of controversy. We then elected a conservative Democrat pro-gun mayor. My town has had 3 conservative pro-gun mayors in a row. Is there a crime in my hometown? Yeah, there was. Okay? But our Second Amendment rights are protected in my hometown. We're still restricted to this goddamn fucking weapons accessories ban and shit like that. But my hometown respects the Constitution. My hometown respects the Second Amendment. Okay? New York State has started to throw out liberalism. Elect either Republicans or conservative Democrats. New York City, on the other hand, keep on with the liberalism, keep on with the nanny state, keep on with the fucking babysitter. I'm going to show you a New York Post cartoon. Hold on a minute. Yeah. Not as short as I wanted it to be. Yeah, it's all over the fucking paper, this thing. Don't drop the fucking... Okay, it's hard to see this. No smoking, no salt, no soda. There's the emperor. Wasn't there a ban on 3rd terms too? Yeah, that's from the New York Post. I have to give credit to the source. Okay, so that's basically what this shit is. Okay, all they want to do is control. The emperor wants control, and they have a need for control. Okay. At least when you're a slave, at least the slaves ran away. At least the slaves rebelled. Okay? At least Abraham Lincoln gave the slaves power to put on Union uniforms and go back down south and fight. Okay? You're a goddamn slave and you keep electing the slave master. The emperor is a master and you keep re-electing him. And even though he is finally going to be gotten rid of next term, they're going to have another one. Because every single person running for mayor, Republican and Democrat, is anti-gun, pro-nanny state. Every single one of them. Yeah. Okay? We have conservative Democrats here. They have liberal Republicans there. Okay? They're not changing the problem. They're just changing what the problem looks like. They're going to have another anti-gun mayor or emperor. He's going to be just as bad with the gun rights. Second Amendment Foundation is going to sue him too. No matter who it is. That's the problem. The problem. Look at Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, Michigan looks like fucking third world country or apocalyptic war zone from a sci-fi movie. They keep electing the same shit. My father's hometown in Newark. The last time my father's hometown elected a conservative mayor was before my grandmother was born, and she died at 98 this year. Problem is, you have to change the symptom, change the disease, okay? Try to regulate knives, stabbings go up. Try to regulate guns, shootings go up. Try to regulate this, I guarantee you, diabetes, obesity, and you know what? I hope so. I hope they go up. I hope they have high blood pressure. I hope they have fatter people. Yeah, I want a visualization, okay? Because stabbings and shootings are statistics on paper, but you can visibly see people walking around unhealthy. I wish it on them, I really do. You know, let's face it, drinking a lot of soda, drinking a lot of coffee isn't a good idea. If I go out and have a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, the small cup is this fucking big. Okay? I usually get a medium cup. And if I really want some spice in my life, I'll get a large cup. Bigger than this. And if I'm really fucking tired, I really need to get through a fucking long day or a long week or whatever, I'll get a real fucking big one. Now, you have a constitutional right to be fat, to be unhealthy, to have high blood pressure, to be ugly. Okay? You have a constitutional right to be fat. Should you be fat? No. Should you be unhealthy? No. Should you have heart disease? No. Should you take care of yourself? Yes, you should take care of yourself. You should diet and exercise. But if you want to be fat, if you want to have a lot of caffeine in your body, you're an adult, you do it to yourself. Okay? There's no law against being fat. If there is, Michael Moore will be on death row. There is a law against being a fucking dictator. Oh, today is Derek Jeter's 20th anniversary. He was drafted 20 years ago today. Derek Jeter is the greatest ball player of my era. And if he ends up on steroids,